Well, hello YouTubers. I had a request come in one of the comments on another of my videos. Somebody had requested in one of the comments that they wanted to see more of this pickup truck. This is my 1984 GMC Sierra 6.2 liter diesel truck. Like many of these trucks, especially ones in the Rust Belt here, the sides of the bed and many other things are just a little bit on the rusty side. We did get some new rims for it though, because the old ones, the old original factory rims, were in pretty sad shape. All of them were rusty, and at least the one up there on the front passenger side tire, it was so bad that it was egg-shaped. It was not actually round when I got the tire off of it. This used to be my dad's pickup truck. He carried the mail in it, the rural mail, for many years, and as such he put a topper on it. And another thing that he added, which is really kind of a neat accessory that I don't know a lot of people have ever seen, but this plywood shelving here that actually separates the top and bottom of the bed, he would put the mail on that, and then he installed a sliding rear window on the truck. He installed a sliding rear window, and when it came time to deliver the mail, he just opened that up and grabbed the mail out of there and drop it off in people's mailboxes. It has come in handy for me because I actually, as one of my sidelines, in addition to my real job, I repair computers, and when I was driving this truck on a daily basis, I would put computers and stuff back there on that shelf. It would ensure that they wouldn't just flop around on the bed, and it also made them easy to retrieve from one of these side windows. Got a little less rust on this side than we do on the other one, but the fuel door is gone. Of course, the famous cab corner rot. And the reason I have a different door on this truck, the original door is in much better shape than this door. In fact, I paid $20 for this door, so I don't feel too bad about it, but it looks like somebody actually backed into something with it here. So it doesn't shut right, and it kind of chewed up the metal on the fender there. But this door at least has a window in it. The other one had something wrong in the window support mechanism that made it break windows. If you shut the door just hard enough when the window was down, the window would fall out the rusty bottom of the door and land on the street, and it'd usually break. I learned about that after putting there's at least one window I put in this truck. This was a Texas truck originally. I saw somebody issuing promotional Carfax reports, and so I took them up on their offer. Found out that this truck began life in Texas. It was actually repossessed and offered up at an auction for sale. It was purchased non-running, but my dad and Grandpa got it fixed, and they drove it for many years before they finally parked it, and then I came along a couple of years later and started driving it myself. I still have it. I love it. I wouldn't ever get rid of it. Has air conditioning on it, which is a nice touch, something I don't see on a lot of these vehicles that originated life here in the wonderful state of Illinois. I converted the air conditioning to 134A, but there was a leak I didn't find, and so it all leaked out on me. Front end of the truck's in pretty good shape. We've got the single light there with the turn signal. And yeah, there's a reason why the battery doesn't have its cap on it. I dropped it down in the fender, and the only way to get it back is to take the turn signal out, which I haven't done yet. But the grill is in good and clean shape on it, with only one little broken spot down there. The alternator, if there's one thing that GM did on this truck that was kind of stupid, they only put a single belt on the alternator, and so the alternator tends not to be able to charge the batteries very well. For all I know, it could be bad, too, because it is the original alternator on the truck. Although it does seem to charge. Yeah, it's not in bad shape on the front. A little rust there on the fender. The cab is the real sad story on this truck. The interior doesn't look too bad. I mean, the dash is a little beat up, got some cracks and weather in it, and of course I had to duct tape the vent holder back on there because it seemed to be broken. But the floorboards are the real sad story here. They're basically gone. I shored them up with plywood on both sides, which is getting me through until I can restore this truck, which I will do someday. But I will not be using this cab because my dad insisted, or maybe he had an act of random madness one day, but he put a sunroof in this truck, and it's a major piece of crap. They did a terrible job. They left sharp edges around it, and it's moldy, and it leaks, And so I'm looking for a good second-hand cab off of another truck, or a truck with a blown drivetrain, but a good cab. Given the popularity of these trucks, I'm not sure I'll ever find such a thing. Anyway, for those of you that wanted to see a picture or a movie of this truck and hear a little bit more about it, hopefully this video has given you a good introduction to my wonderful truck. I really love it, and believe me, I would never get rid of it. And I do promise you that someday it will be restored. That's probably a bit of a ways off.